Good morning, everyone. So thank you all for joining me for another online practice. So today we are wrapping up the 8-limb path. The 8 limbs are kind of divided into 3 segments. So we've done that the first third, the yamas and niyamas, the moral codes. Then we've gone into the second phase where it involves physical postures of asana, pranayama, and even pratyahara with that withdrawal of the senses. And those 2 sections led us to and prepare us for the third, which is more of a journey inward. And this idea of these final 3 limbs to guide us on our inner journey toward freedom from suffering, which is what we all want. And so I thought we'll focus on all 3 today because they are related, and to a certain degree they're a little conceptual and they support each other. So I'll just kind of give a brief overview. For the first one is Dharana, or Dharana, people say, and it means fixed attention and concentration. So we're going to do that today in our yoga practice. We'll have a lot of balances, and I'm going to encourage us to focus on maybe a part of your body, your breath, or the drishti, that focal point, so that you can develop, really good concentration. And then we'll also practice Dhyana, which is meditation. And that will be, again, focusing on maybe the breath or even the mind at the exclusion of all other things. So you're focusing on one single point at the exclusion of all other things. And then also with the idea in mind of Samadhi. So that's the idea of bliss consciousness. So that means more of a unifying concentration, that we are merging with our object of meditation. So merging with the mind, merging with breath and body and all things. And hopefully we'll notice that maybe in the practice, that you'll feel so part of the flow, or in our meditation at the end, or in Shavasana. So hopefully you'll get glimpses of Samadhi, which I think that we all do. I don't think that these ideas are elusive and unattainable, and only we might get them at the end of our journey. I think in life, when we are totally absorbed in something that we're doing, maybe it's a creative endeavor, maybe it's our practice, maybe it's a walk in nature, just kind of notice when you might feel this Samadhi, all right, this bliss consciousness. And these 3 limbs are called Antaratma Sadhana. So the idea of this innermost quest. So these last 3 limbs are the innermost quest. And so it'll help us to promote our concentration, self-awareness, help to kind of control the monkey mind, our thoughts, and develop a greater sense of self-realization. So with that in mind, let us explore these last 3 limbs. Antaratma Sadhana. All right. So let's come to our mats and find a comfortable seat and connect with our breath. So I'm going to move back here and find a comfortable seat. So it could be on the floor, you could be on a chair. Feel that you're grounding your sits bones to the earth and lengthening through the crown of your head. Maybe even bring your shoulders up, back, and down. And once again, up, back, and down. Grounding and getting long. And consider closing your eyes and bringing your attention inward. Noticing the breath. Letting the breath be full, smooth, and easy. And we'll start with some gentle movements, and we'll just make circles with the spine. So you can let your hands rest on your lap. You could just circle the spine here. And as you begin to deepen the movements, you can find a little flexion as you go back, a little side bend as you go to the side, a little extension as you go forward. So we're starting to warm up the spine. And just awaken the energy, flowing with the breath. And as we move here, you can layer on a gentle ujjayi, that ocean sounding breath. And the next time you've gone forward or back, then reverse the direction. Maybe even begin to deepen the movement if it feels comfortable. Focusing on one point. Maybe it's what you're feeling in your body. Maybe it's the flow of the breath. Maybe it's an external sound. Maybe you hear the birds. And then bring that movement to stillness, grounding, getting long, and pausing to notice. And let's bring our arms out to the sides and up to the sky. Now you can keep your arms wide to protect your shoulders, or you can bring your hands together and into Sampada Mudra, that when we make our little steeple posture, just extending the pointer fingers. Give a little tone to the belly, relax the shoulders down your back, and then fold side to side. Good. Creating length through the side body. A fuller breath maybe. Engaging the core, getting a little heat going. And going at your own pace. One more time each side. And then come back to center, elongate, release your arms, and send the right arm back behind you, the left arm forward, and take a rotation. And just rotate as far as feels comfortable for you, feeling the rotation from the belly. Maybe look over your right shoulder. Breathing here. Good. Take another breath. And then let's come on back, de-rotating, arms back up towards the sky. You don't have to interlace your fingers now because we're going to take this twist to the other side. Inhale, elongate. Exhale and breathe across the upper lungs, across your heart and into your collarbones, maybe looking behind you. Take one more breath here. And then come back through center. Pause for just a moment. And then plant your hands onto the earth in front of you so that you can then roll onto your knees and transition into puppy pose or dog pose. So I'm going to turn sideways and move my blanket now. Hands are grounded. Again, remember, puppy pose, the hips are over the knees. You can send your arms forward or be propped up on your forearms or your blocks, or you could take your dog pose. Send the hips to the sky, elongating through the torso. Pedaling the feet, if you choose. And breathe here. Seeing if you can internalize your awareness and find a fixed point of concentration. So maybe it's your breath. Maybe it's the navel. I like to draw my navel in, so I'm engaging my core. Take one more breath. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. And then we're going to step forward. So if you want, you can, do the standing split, walking your feet to your hands. You can lower your knees and come through a half lunge. You can come to your standing forward bend any way that feels comfortable for you. So once you're in your standing forward bend, honor the hamstrings, keep the knees soft. If it feels uncomfortable to have your head this low, lift your head up to heart height. Let's just hang here for a moment, wherever you are, even if you're at, the Ardha Uttanasana. Now we can add some movement to the neck. You can shake your head yes. You can shake your head no. Feel the movement of the neck without the burden of gravity. You're gonna let your arms dangle a little bit. Even circle them. It feels nice to get some space in the shoulders. And then take one more breath here. And then we'll rise up halfway. So you can let your hands glide up onto your legs, or you can find your blocks now. Look forward, half lift, get long through the side body. Exhale, take all that length, go back into your fold. And then bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs. Lift your chest, bring your arms out like a T. And then with your strong legs, rise all the way up to standing. Hands to prayer. And then pull the prayer to your heart. And then if we want, we could take our Dhyana mudra, that meditative mudra that we practiced weeks ago in our 8-limb path exploration, by bringing the right palm under the left palm on top, thumbs to touch, little slightly cupped hand right in line with your navel. Okay. So now release your arms by your sides. And let's take our arms out to the sides, up to the sky. Good. And again, you can have your arms wide. You can interlace your hands into that steeple posture. So Pada Mudra. Good. Come back a little. Inhale here. Exhale, fold over to the right. Come back to center. Fold over to the left. Come back to center. Release your hands. This time, your right hand will take hold of your left wrist. Give it a tug. Get long. Take that length over to the right and hold. And breathe here. So hold it for like 3 to 5 breaths, finding a fixed point of concentration. Cultivating Dharana. Take one more breath, and then come on back to center. Release your clasp, and then clasp the right wrist with your left hand. Give that arm some extra lengthening so that whole side body lengthens. And then fold to the left. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. And finding that fixed point. So maybe it's your breath. Maybe it's a particular part of your body. Or maybe it's your drishti. So that drishti is a focal point. Something that you might hold a fixed but soft gaze at. And we'll use that, quite a bit in this practice today. So take one more breath and then rise back up. Release your arms. Let's take an extension here. So you can keep your hands together or apart. Tone your belly, press your hips forward, lift your heart, maybe lift your gaze. Oh, take a little extension here as far as feels comfortable for you. Keep lengthening more than extending the back bend. So work on your length. Take one more breath and then come back to center, lowering your arms, maybe even just letting them rain down, just soften them if that was a lot to hold your arms overhead. And pause and notice how you're feeling now. All right. So today we're going to start with balance poses and take them into our standing poses. So we'll be moving a lot from one balance pose to another to then maybe a more stable standing pose. So, have a chair handy if you want. Place yourself next to a wall so you can clasp your wall. Have your blocks handy. And we'll get going. So the first pose is going to be tree. So trying to figure out which way I'm going to go so that you can see me. I think I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to go a little bit like at an angle. So let's see how this works today. Right. So find your Tadasana. Connect every part of your feet to the earth. Big toes, pinky toes, heels. Feel a little engagement of the legs. A little tone to the belly and neutral pelvis. You can bring your shoulders up, back, and down. All right, have a prop toward your right side if you like, because we will plant the right leg down and pick up the left and find your Vrikshasana. So externally rotate the hip, place the heel over the ankle, maybe the arch on the calf, or heel to inner thigh. Up to you. And then press that left foot into the right leg so that you're nice and stable. Bring your hands to prayer or Dhyana mudra, or send them skyward. Keep a calm, easy breath. Finding a drishti and a focal point for your attention. So taking 2 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Inhale and then exhale. If your arms are skyward, bring them down toward heart center or even onto your hips. Bring the left leg in towards the chest and then see if you can send it right back into your warrior 3 posture. So your hands could be on your hips or at heart center. Send that leg back to hip height if you can. Toes pointing down. Take a few breath cycles here. I know this is challenging. We've gone from one pose to the next, but find your focal point. Maybe it's your breath. Come into that gentle ujjayi and attach your attention to that. And 1 more breath cycle here. And then bend the standing leg, lower the left foot, keeping the heel lifted if you can, and then send your arms to the sky, warrior 1 posture. Good job. We made it, right? Nice work. So feel that you're really stable with your legs. They're drawing together forward to back, side to side. The shoulders are relaxed. Oh, maybe our arms are wide. We can feel some joy, maybe a little tiny bit of samadhi, maybe a little bliss in the posture after making it through those 2 balances. And then lower your arms to shoulder height so they're parallel. Okay? And then open the right arm to the right. So we're going to go right into a twist here. Good. And breathe. Keep that right hip going back slightly and feel the rotation mostly from the belly. Try not to borrow from the hip. Keep the shoulders nice and easy. Maybe look behind you or look forward. Find your drishti, that focal point, whatever it is for you today. Take 1 more breath. And then come back or deep rotate. Arms back up to the sky, back into that warrior 1 posture. And then shift your weight into your right leg. Step the left foot to meet the right and lower your arms by your sides. Okay. Good job. Shake out the standing leg if you need to. Make any adjustments, a couple clearing breaths, and let's move to the other side. So when you're ready, finding props if you need. We'll be standing on the left this time. Soften the right knee, externally rotate that hip. Bring the heel over the ankle, onto the arch or to your inner thigh. Find your Vrikshasana. Find your Drishti. Find your Dhyana, your Dharana, that point of concentration. We're binding our mind to a particular place. And take one more breath here. You can keep your arms long if you choose. You can bring them to prayer, even setting them by your sides for airplane as we bring that leg back to center, up toward our chest, and then pivot from your hips. Extend that right leg back. Come forward with your chest, active arms, and breathe. Focused attention. Take one more breath here. As you soften the standing leg, plant that back foot down, heel lifted if you can, hips square forward. Make sure the knee is over the ankle, not dropping in or out, and sweep your arms to sky. Relax your shoulders, tone the belly, scissor legs together. Finding that little bit of bliss in the body, in your practice, a little bit of joy, that bit of unity with all that is, that oneness. Nice work. And then yogis, bring your arms forward, parallel, and then send that left arm back and find your rotation here. And don't lose your lunge. Maybe you have to go into it a little deeper. Maybe you draw your left hip back so that the rotation happens from your belly, not from the hip. Breathe into your upper lungs. Find your drishti here, wherever that is for you, and hold it for 3 more breaths or so. And then de-rotate, arms back up to the sky. Start to shift your weight toward your left foot as you step the right foot to meet the left. Lower your arms and find your Tadasana, right hand under the left for Dhyana Mudra. Notice how you're feeling now. All right. Nice. Okay. So for the second wave, we will use some blocks. So if you don't have your blocks handy already, you might want to have those. And potentially we're going to do our chair pose and then eagle posture. So you might want to have, I think we're going to start on the left because I think it's going to be better for me to demonstrate this first one on this side. So I'm going to start on my left. So, okay. And when we take our eagle pose, it might be that you want to have 2 blocks for that foot to rest on. Or if you don't need 2 blocks, you could always move one away. You just even give it a pat with your foot. It's kind of easy to do, or you don't need to have any. So up to you. And there'll be an option that maybe you're not even going to take the leg half. So we'll see. but have the blocks handy there. And find your Tadasana. Big toe mounts, pinky toe mounts, heels ground, belly tones as we lengthen through the crown of our head. And then bend your knees, squat down, reach your fingers towards the earth. Keep the lower body grounded as you lift your chest and bring your arms to shoulder height. Good. So you're shifting your weight back toward your heels, getting light on your toes. You can lift your arms a little higher, even drawing pinkies toward each other so the shoulder blades draw apart. And stay here in this awkward chair for a few breath cycles. And so in this, we're going to do the chair and then eagle. So we're going to be in kind of 2 squats for, consecutively. So this might be a lot. You might feel your quads or some part of the body might be speaking to you. So see if you could not identify with the body as we gain a little separation, like we talked about in Pratyahara last week, to gain a little space between that and our, just get a little space between the physical body and that true self. Not reacting, not identifying. And breathe here. Now let's bring our arms down to shoulder height, okay? Turn your palms down towards the earth. Good, here, so you can see that. Good. And then bring the right arm under the left, bend your elbows, and you can let your hands rest on your shoulders, or you can wrap your forearms all the way around for your Garudasana arms, eagle arms. Good. And then maybe go a little deeper into this posture, drawing the tailbone down, keeping a natural curve to the spine. Now this might be enough. You might stay here for this shoulder opener, or you might shift your weight to your left foot, pick up that right leg, and cross it over. And your foot could rest on the block. It could just hang out in space, or it could maybe wrap around. And then once you wrap, so my hip came forward, but now I want to draw it back so that my hips are square, more or less. And sink a little deeper. Squeeze in your legs together. Lifting your elbows to shoulder height. And breathe. Find that fixed gaze. Calm, easy breath. That attention of Dharana. That disattachment, that withdrawal from senses of Pratyahara. Take one more breath. And then let's start to unwind by sending that leg back through a warrior 3 posture. We won't linger here too long. Just kind of use it as a flow. And then bend your standing leg, lower that right foot at a 45-degree angle, lift your chest, release your arms, send your right arm back, left arm forward, warrior 2 posture. All right, so your knees, left knee is over the ankle, taking care that it doesn't draw in. Activate your arms, reaching your hands away from each other, and then look down the middle finger of your left hand. And that's our drishti in this posture. And breathe here. Maybe sink a little deeper, settling in. Take one more breath here. On the next inhale, lower your right hand to your right hamstring. Send the left arm up to the sky to reverse the warrior. And then float back up to your warrior 2. Straighten your right leg. Tuck that hip under, your left leg. Tuck the hip under, reach forward with your left arm. Right arm by your side or up to the sky for Utthita Trikonasana. Strong legs, long torso in line with your legs. Keep the neck natural and in line with your spine, and find a drishti here. So maybe it's down at your left foot, maybe it's forward or up toward your right hand. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now, let's soften our left knee and find that we're right into our side angle. So maybe you'll bring your form onto that thigh, or maybe you're just gonna let the hand float or come onto the earth or block. You decide. Good. Get a couple breath cycles here. If you like, typically we have this, our arm overhead in line with our ear, and if you take it, if you express it in that way, your drishti is your right hand. Now yogis, bring that right hand back onto your right hip. Look down at your left foot, and if you haven't gathered one of your blocks already, get one of your blocks and bring it in front of your left foot. Some of you may know where we're going already, right? Our balancing half moon. We did our Ardha Chandrasana already standing, now we're gonna do it balancing. So step in with your right foot, start to put your weight into your left leg. Send your left hand a little farther of that foot so your body can be long and your hand is right underneath your shoulder. And then lift that leg as much as you're able to. Maybe you can start to spin that right hip open. Oops, I'm looking at us. And then the arm to the sky. Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon. Find your drishti. Maybe it's down at your hand, forward, or up to the sky. And then take one more breath here. As you lower your right leg, lower your right arm, come into a standing forward bend. Maybe bend your knees. Oh, give them a squeeze. And then release, rising up halfway. Exhale and fold again. Bend your knees till your belly's on your thighs. Bring your arms out like a T, and with your strong legs, rise all the way up to standing. Hands come to prayer. And then let's bring our prayer back to our heart, and maybe taking Dhyana Mudra once again. Notice how you're feeling now. All right, we ready for the other side? So let's go for it. So let's come back to the top of our mat. Have your blocks handy, this time on the right side, in case you used them for your Garuda, Garuda. Garuda is a bird man. So half bird, half man, half person, that is. All right, so find your legs about hips distance apart. Squat down, fingers reach down towards the earth. Keep the lower body grounded as the upper body lifts. All right. Arms can be at shoulder height until they get stable. You can keep them here. You can even keep your palms down and prep for what's to come, or you can lift them at that 45. Up to you. Grounding and breathing. Focusing your attention on your breath, on a drishti. Maybe something else. Maybe I kind of bring in my awareness to my sacral region because I'm grounding it down, lengthening through my torso. Take one more breath. And then lower your arms to shoulder height, palms down. This time we're going to bring the left arm under the right, so cross them. Then you can bend your elbows. You can hold on to shoulders, or if you have this ability, you can wrap your forearms all the way around. And always keep your arms kind of like gentle. Don't clasp your hands. Don't kind of torture your hands. Just have them be easy, even if they don't touch, and come into a prayer. Good, okay? Now you can stay here and take your Utkatasana with Garudasana arms. Or you could shift your weight to your right leg and add the legs. So crossing the legs like you do if you're sitting in a chair. The foot could rest on blocks. It could float, or it could eventually try to wrap around the calf. All right. And breathe. Lifting the elbows to shoulder height, drawing your forearms away. You sink a little deeper. One more breath cycle. The next inhale, start to unwind. Send that left leg back behind you. Softening the right knee. Plant your foot at a 45-degree angle. Lift your chest, lift your arms. Open up warrior two posture. And settle in. Making sure that right knee is not dropping in, it's drawing away. Tailbone draws down. Arms are wide. And bring your drishti down the middle finger of your right hand. And breathe. And then lower the left hand to the left hamstring. Spin that right palm up to the sky, reversing your warrior. Take one more breath here. And then straighten your right leg as you rise up. And get ready for triangle pose. Tucking the right hip under. Reach forward with your chest. Lower the right hand down, left arm to sky. Again, feeling both legs are grounded. Your torso gets longer. Your gaze settles. Your mind settles. Your breath is easy. If your breath is ever too labored, then maybe you need to back off. Maybe you need to take a rest. Just always honor. Notice the breath. It tells us where we're at. Now from here, bend that right knee, and here we are into our side angle, Parsvakonasana. So you can keep the left hand by the hip, up to the sky or overhead in line with your ear. Find the variation that works for you. Spinning your heart open and grounding through that back leg so you're stable and can find ease, freedom in the posture. Take one more breath. And then bring that left hand back onto your hip. Look down at your right foot if you aren't already. And then find how you're going to transition into your balancing half moon on this side. So I'm stepping in with my left foot. I'm bringing my block in front of my right foot about, say, 18 inches or so, just under 2 feet. Grounding my hand on that block, lifting my left leg, and letting the left hip roll open. This could even be done against a wall, so you can really roll that hip open with ease without concern of wobbling. And then you can send that left arm to the sky and breathe. Breathe here for 2 more breath cycles. And then slowly lower your leg and your arm. Back into our standing forward fold. This maybe just let everything be soft like a rag doll. Rise up halfway. Exhale, go back into your fold. Bend your knees, belly on your thighs, arms out like a T. And with your strong legs, rise all the way up to standing. Hands come to prayer. Prayer comes to our heart or into Dhyana Mudra once again. And notice how you're feeling now. Let's take a few clearing breaths here. So let's take a big inhale, arms out to the sides, up to the sky. And exhale. And again, big inhale. And actually, if you want, you could even bend the elbows and just kind of exhale as you rain your arms down. Might feel nice to just soften the elbows. So let's try that again. Inhale and exhale. And we can just let them relax and drop. Let's do that one more time. It feels good. Inhale and exhale. Good job. So now let's make our way down into a seated position for a Navasana. We'll do one little core set before we come onto our back. All right, so make sure you can see me. Here we are. So keep the knees bent, feet on the earth, holding onto the hamstrings for starters. Connect sits bones to earth. Lifting the heart, lengthening through the torso. Lean back a little bit until you feel the belly engage. You can stay here, even extending the arms, like kind of palms up. You could lift one or both legs and still hold on to the hamstrings. Okay, right? Or you could extend your arms. You could even extend the legs. So do what feels comfortable for you. And let's hold it for 5 breaths. Keep lifting your heart. Inhaling and exhaling. Find that soft drishti, that soft gaze. Keep lifting the heart. Don't lean back. Feel this in your belly. 2 more breaths. Last one. And then lower your feet. Lower your hands by your hips. And we'll take a reverse table. So your fingers face forward, if that's okay. Maybe try it like that. If it's totally not workable in your shoulders, you can turn your fingers away or back behind you, but really pay attention to how that feels in your shoulders when you have that other position. All right, so feet maybe are hips distance apart. We're going to press into our hands and feet and lift our hips into like a staple shape. See if you can get your hips up to knee height. You can look forward towards your knees. That could be your drishti, or you can let your head drop back. See what feels comfortable in your neck. One more breath. And then on an exhale, lower down. Adjust yourself on your mat so that you can come onto your back. And you can roll down with a little core strength, get a little bonus core strengthener, or you can use the support of your hamstrings or your hands and elbows to come onto your back. Pause just for a moment with your knees still bent. You can even press your low back into the earth for constructive rest. Take a breath or two here. And then bring one knee and then the other in towards your chest. Give them a squeeze. Rock side to side across the sacrum. Maybe make little circles with your knees, massaging the whole back body. And then go in the other direction with your circles. That's good. And bring that to stillness. Squeeze it in one more time. Even peel your head towards your knees towards your head. Good. And then as you lower your head back down for a moment, check in to see what you might like. I'm going to give us a couple options here. We could take a gentle twist, or you could take a happy baby by lifting or by opening up your knees. Let me have us get in this one. Opening up your knees and holding on to shins or ankles or even feet. Right? And then you pull your legs down as you lengthen your spine, keeping a natural curve to the neck. So pressing the back of your head down. If you want, you could then open up your calves and feet so that the feet are right over the knees, and you can hold on to the outside edges of your feet and pull them down. And breathe here, or take a twist, whatever feels comfortable for you, whatever your body is asking you for now. As we move along in our practice, we become more self-aware, as we talked about in the beginning, and that's how we're even aware of what poses are really the most beneficial at any time in our body. So as you tap in, you might say, oh yeah, I really need this little extra hip opener, this neutral spine, supporting my spine here on the earth. Or you might say, oh, I really need just one more little twist before I could take the most blissful shavasana. So take another couple of moments here, completing whichever poses you chose. And then when you're ready, take your shavasana. So that might be, you may have your legs bent in a butterfly or a bound angle. And you may extend your legs, letting the feet and legs drop apart, arms by your sides, palms up. So finding a comfortable position for this final relaxation. Take a big inhale and exhale it out with a sigh. Maybe part your jaw, give the jaw a wiggle, release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. We did a lot of balancing, and sometimes when we're balancing, we hold tension in our jaw. We get a little tense, trying to stay upright, not to fall over. So take another big inhale, exhale it out, sigh it out, make it audible. Let it all go. Surrender your body to the support of the earth. Feel the back of your head pressing into the earth, feeling your forehead relax, your eyes drop back, your jaw apart, your shoulder blades draw together as your arms sink into the earth. Feel your belly relax and your breath just become easeful, no more control, merely a whisper. Let the weight of your hips go, your legs as they drop apart. And rest here for these next few moments. When I can be the witness, all manner of miracles occur. Old wounds heal, the past reveals itself to be released. Present dramas play themselves out without sinking emotional talons into my soft skin. The witness welcomes truth and dares to meet reality on its own terms. It is the ground in which the seed of transformation take root and finally flower. When the witness is awake, the lake of mind is still, and in that mirrored surface, I see my own true face as spirit smiling back at me. So allow your breath to deepen. Bringing movement to fingers and toes. Taking a big stretch. And then rolling over to right side. And when you're ready, make your way up to a comfortable seat. So I thought we'll conclude with a short meditation. And it's interesting, Patanjali, there's a lot of different types of meditation. We'll probably do one next month. We'll offer a meditation. We might explore a few different styles, but there's a lot of techniques. I think ultimately a practitioner needs to find what works for you. Patanjali didn't really specify, but in accordance with these teachings, I think I'd like to encourage us to try two different things. Meditation as one of the limbs is focusing on a single object to the exclusion of all other objects. So it could be, a candle flame, it could be your breath, it could be mantra, could be a sound like our singing bowls. So I'd like to suggest we do breath. We do that a lot because I think the breath is an easy, accessible thing to come back to. But then I'd like to see if you could notice what's happening in the mind, because that might take us more towards the samadhi. So the idea is, the reason why people find meditation so hard is the mind is always active. It's always jumping around, thinking from thing to thing to thing, and we often feel that we're bad meditators because we can't still the mind, we can't quiet the mind. And that's okay, we don't need to quiet the mind. We can just be one with it, accept that it's it's this active energy, and it's going from one thought to the next, and just watch it, be that witness, and don't engage with it. It's tempting, but don't engage. Just watch these thoughts bubble up and then float away like clouds. They're just bubbling up, coming into being, gathering, and then they drift off. It's only when we engage with them and latch on to them that we find ourselves, going down that kind of rabbit hole. So start with the breath. If it's of interest to you, focus on the mind. Notice the funny thoughts that just pop in and let them pop out. You can get back to them later if it's something that merits exploration. So finding a comfortable seat. We'll just do a few minutes here. Maybe close your eyes or keep the soft gaze of the Buddha, the Kumari eyes. And bring your awareness to your breath. The gentle rise and fall of the belly, the sound of the ujjayi, even the physical sensation of the flare of the nostrils. You can continue using the breath as the object of your meditation, or you can switch the object to your mind and watch the thoughts bubble up and drift apart. And if we can find that oneness with the thoughts, if we can be that witness, we could achieve samadhi. And samadhi is, again, this bliss consciousness. And the idea behind that is we're kind of attached from the outcome of things. And the idea is the brightest sun or the darkest night couldn't affect our blissful consciousness, our bliss consciousness. So we're are one with the universe, one with all beings. So now let your breath deepen. If your eyes are closed, you can flutter them open. Join your hands together at heart center. Bowing your head to that light within. In gratitude for the teachings of yoga and our ability to cross distances and practice together. And we'll lift our gaze and seal our practice by joining our voices in one Om. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste.